Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're moving right along here tonight with the WGLEU. Match 2 is already about to start, of course. The first one being a pretty quick affair, 5-0 in favour of Connecticut over Strong Siena, and what was arguably one of the faster games we've seen all season, Oliver. Now, of course, we look towards probably your peak of the day, I think you were saying off stream.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Synergy Utopia. Synergy has been doing okay. They won against Kazakru this week on Monday, and Utopia did well against Oops as well. So I think it's going to be the match of the day. I would bet on it. Obviously, Synergy seem to have this inability to play consistently. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad, but they seem to be getting better, and just looking at their performance against Kazakh, we can say that. And I think Utopia just getting better. I think they are just getting in their stride, and that's what's going to really provide a good performance from both teams, I think.
Utopia were a fixture last season as well, a team that we always had to at least give them some confidence going into many of their matches. And I don't think they ever really orchestrated many big upsets. Maybe Kazakh fell by the wayside against them last season, but generally speaking, they were consistent in beating those lower level teams, which is what you need to do if you're going to make your way up. Sitting around 4th for most of the season, then sort of dropping away towards the end of it. That was the story last season. This is now, of course, their second season, of course, since then. So I have to see what they can perform, how they're going to perform, for us here. And Synergy are the most up and down team. If they lose to they lose to lower level teams and then beat top level teams, it's not the first time we've seen this kind of trend from them. Even with a different looking team, I guess, you think about some of their old, inclusions, guys like Stalker, Zmika and stuff like that, no longer really sort of featuring at all. Obviously now under the lead of John Corleone. So definitely a changed team. Yeah. Utopia as well. We've seen some really good stuff from them. Of course, they featured quite strongly in our Arty Fest that we saw on Monday night with some incredible one-shots. Hopefully, we'll get to be treated to some more of that one, as last night wasn't so exciting. But we'll see. Melly, of course, between these two, this is a tough one to call, I think, even for us. That's why we're calling it Match of the Day. So I'd like to hear what the people at home actually think on that.
Well, I think we should wait for the vote actually to further develop, because people haven't gotten themselves in that number I want to see. Actually, so people head over to our Facebook page, facebook.com/WGLEU, and get yourselves involved. Also use the hashtag WGLEU if you to tell us if you think that this match deserves the title as the match of the day. And while I'm talking, actually votes are coming in, and currently it looks like, well, one side is kind of heavily favored, 67% for Utopia.
So
Two-thirds in favour of Utopia.
Yeah, pretty one-sided, I would say. Reasonably one-sided.
Almost 70%.
Yes.
But yes, as said, the vote is open until the 4th round ends. Therefore, after the second map, the vote will be closed. And I would get myself in there very early to get a chance of winning one of 3 bonus codes, because you can also predict the exact scoreline in our team vote app, and by doing so, being one of the 3 fastest as mentioned before, you can win bonus codes containing a Großtraktor, 500 gold, 3 days of premium, and a garage slot.
But unfortunately, you don't get yourself a World of Tanks burger. So
no.
Yeah.
Actually, Magus brought in the bonus code that you get with the World of Tanks burger. I think it was in Moscow and St. Petersburg at the time. The only places you could get it. It's interesting stuff there as well.
100 gold or something. 3 days of premium.
So I reckon people would have bought it. Like when I see how much people want codes and stuff, I like codes as well. I can imagine why they would have bought it. But let's move away from burgers a little bit more, as Mayland now his ears prick on up. This first match, of course, is going to be one for us to keep our eyes on. We're going to be starting off with Mines, which is always a pleasure to watch, especially Synergy on this map. We've seen them play Mines a fair bit in recent times here. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on Mines if we're going to kick things off here?
Well, we saw Utopia versus Oops on Mines as 1-1, and the artillery played, quite extensively by Utopia, and it doesn't look like they're going to include it this time, which is interesting. So.
All right, well, let's jump to our interview on this one going forward. I think it's just Utopia that we're going to be hearing from, but let's hear what they had to say anyway.
Synergy already showed that they prepare very well for their matches, and that they can win with almost any team. That's why we're gonna have to be very cautious and really well prepared for this match.
Thanks to Hallucinogen there as well. I mean, his English is better than mine as well. He should be taking my job. Very well put there, I think.
Very bright, really bright guy. Had a good conversation with him.
It's good to hear now, from Utopia, because we don't normally get to actually talk to them too much, of course. In the past, it's been struggling to get them over here for media days and stuff. So thanks, Hallucinogen. And there you go. So, respect, of course, for Synergy, which is maybe what you'd expect to see.
He brought up the point that they train a lot, and it's true. I think, it's one of the remarks he made when they played against Kazakh. They seemed to have a really good idea what Kazakh wanted to do and how they wanted to counter that.
It's no surprise that Synergy and Utopia have been training partners ever since last season as well. And so I think the two of them are probably two of the oldest living teams currently still in the WGL, maybe behind Kazza and Wombats on tanks. But here's your tank picks here. Artillery actually is going to be used. Mersky, you're going to be picking that one up here for Synergy. Not on the side of Utopia, though. It looks like they're favouring a mix of FE215s and TVPs. Mines is where it all starts off in this first match, or this first round of this second match, should I really be saying. It's a bat chat as well, going to be coming out for Utopia. Be interested to see how that's going to be used. Both teams, look at the similar lineups here, but a 110 E5 even coming out for Synergy. I like their lineup.
Yeah, I like both the lineups. And I think the interesting thing is that Utopia on the defensive side are not using artillery. So they're very much aware that Synergy would have trained and prepared something to just counter the artillery piece. So that's clever from them. Shukyu's going to go all the way up. He's going to take a bit of damage. That's unavoidable, but he doesn't get killed, and only down to about just below half HP. It's
pretty much what you want there as Batchat getting up on the hill. He wasn't tracked as well. That's one thing you really should be trying to track a Batchat moving up on the hill or block it, as we've seen Kazner do in the past, but Desha now going to be coming back around behind. Now, there's no tanks left here to defend for Synergy, so this early flank is going to work out really nicely. Desha is going to get some free damage while the looks of things now shots in towards the behind of Synergy. And that's where maybe the rest of Utopia's force can push on. A full clip being used there by Desha. Got the damage across. Shukyu causing problems for John there as well. He's taken one hit, but he's managed to chunk John down. This is good start for Utopia.
The thing is, they got Shukyu on the hill, which means that they can protect Desha quite nicely. Sometimes when we see a tank flank to the right side, the team just simply commits 2 tanks and kills it and gets the advantage while keeping control of the hill. But because Utopia got the hill, they allowed Desha to have some freedom there.
And now, well, Utopia pushing on towards Synergy even more, and it keeps coming up in their favour. These health points definitely in favour of the blue side here now as Desha continuing his flank. Completely unanswered, by the way, because Mersky on that artillery can't do a whole lot to stop this. Desha can get right in under the skin of the Synergy guys and do some work. But Dreamlight picks up Bishu. They're going to push on towards Mooker and Wicked right now. But Shukyu is always going to be able to do damage. He's in such a good spot. You must deal with that middle Batchat, or he is going to cause so many problems for you. Look at this. Crespix is going to go down to the next shot here from Shukyu. Easy as you like. Desha also taking down John. Only 3 tanks left for Synergy, and that is just a very, very well executed strategy here from Utopia.
I'm really happy to see Utopia playing like this. I mean, clever stuff, good work, good individual play, no mistakes. I mean, we've been really missing a Polish team to step up to a world-class level, and I feel like Utopia is there right now. I mean, Rusty Roster, out of range, who've only just started to get, be good, and Strong CM, we just saw, crumble horribly in, 9 rosters in a row, and Utopia definitely looking like the strongest Polish team, and with a fairly convincing first round here on Mainz.
Can you imagine if we managed to see these guys at the finals as well? It'd be fantastic.
That would be awesome.
Mersky now left on his own. Utopia have definitely left Synergy well and truly shell-shocked, and Mersky only with a very small amount of health here. He has been lit, he's been spotted, and it's just really a clean-up effort now as well. Typing in chat, calls Papa Artie carrying there, of course, as he did manage to get the shot towards Papa Pavian, but there it is. That's done and dusted. The first round already over. Utopia, beautiful stuff there. Now, the flank seemed just so easy for Desha to get around behind him on the TVP, which is just an astonishingly good flanking tank as well. Quick reload, good amount of rate of fire. They're really good at catching people off guard before they can respond. Where was this won and lost, I guess, for Utopia and Synergy?
Well, I think it was one when Shukyu went up the hill and that protected Desha. I think Synergy had 2 options there where they could have won it. Either just commit to Desha and take him down as soon as they could see there was a potential there, and we have seen that from other teams before, or just say, okay, we're getting shot from behind, just push the hill, get the overmatch straight away. The one problem with that being is that they had artillery, so they didn't have another tank in that position, so that overmatch is kind of cancelled out in some respects. So Mersky really has to hit that first 800 damage shell and hit the one after that as well if he's going to really make it work for him. So I think Synergy should have just pushed across the hill as soon as Shukyu was on reload, and then just try and get the overmatches with the artillery support.
A lot of expectation onto Mersky there as well to get the job done, and he really didn't have too many opportunities to do the damage you need to do as an artillery player there. It was a beautiful web by Desha coming around from behind. The fact that Shukyu was up on the hill as well, we'll see the damage count in just a second, and this should indicate exactly why that's a problem. Shukyu and Desha. Now, Desha's a flanking tank. Shukyu is up on the hill. So both these tanks are doing unanswered damage.
Yeah, they both comboed up really nicely and did the damage they needed to do. And Papa as well, you didn't really get to see what he did there, but he was the hull down tank, the T-60 on the hill, and he was just providing good support, good cover for Shukyu. So Synergy couldn't push up the hill or didn't try to push up the hill. So, yeah, I mean, you can't really argue with that. Great round there from Utopia. 3 of the best players at the top there. And 4 players down just below for Synergy. So, you could see it was like 1,800, 1,900 hit points. So it was a pretty close game either way.
Yeah, it did go fairly close, but it's more the strategy executed, I think, by Utopia. I mean, Synergy made the correct decision. They pushed at the right time, or maybe a little bit later, but they still pushed. Anyway, that's the point. So it was always going to come down fairly close, especially when you do realise that it's technically an overmatch here for Synergy, even with an artillery piece. They've got 6 tanks on the hill. Now there's Desha and I think Shukyu up on the hill. So they go 6v5, and they do a lot of damage. They can get rid of some of those tanks. But as soon as Shukyu started getting involved, some flank shots from the bat chat, it was very, very hard to deal with. We're going to be jumping into the second round here on Mines, though, and here's your tank picks. Utopia now with 110 E5 IS7 bat chat, and Synergy again. They're persisting. Mursky did good damage last round, about 2k, and he's going to be on the artillery again. Yeah,
it's going to make it work a little bit easier, I guess, on the defensive side on this map, because you can just sit back. And looks like Synergy's going to be going for the hill with the 113s. It looks like Utopia at the beginning going for that classic cross-off shot where they send the RU-251 forwards into a bush and have the rest of their tanks in behind to provide support. Obviously, they have 2 options from there. Obviously, they're going to put a tank on the island, but also will they push down to that second cap, or will they go for the hill?
So we've seen teams play setups really, really well from the north on the hill, out of range specifically, have an excellent pattern in the way that they approach the defensive side, no, the attacking side, sorry, on this map. But Utopia, quite differently, actually, are not even going to bother really with the hill. Some teams set up, a couple of 110 E5s or some sort of combination of tanks up on the corner there and C4 and maybe await some sort of push off the hill. You can see Crespix and John there in the rather speedy 113s, able to rock back and forth quite quickly. It's a good horsepower to tonnage ratio with those ones, but they're looking for some opportunities here. Shuky's already moved out towards the island here, and like you said, that RU-251 of Money, he is up the front, and Synergy might be caught off here if Utopia can get around the side of him. That's a bounce towards Desha, who's already taking some damage, and the cap's underway.
Of course, the problem here for Utopia is that
wrecked.
Oh, we missed it.
Just wrecked. You just got wrecked, man. Beautiful stuff by Mursky on the artillery. Not quite a one-shot towards Wicked, I think. Actually, no, it might have been, because Desha was the one who took damage, so just got absolutely creamed there, and that's a really bad start for Utopia. They don't have artillery to answer back in that same way as well, and losing 1 tank for literally nothing always makes a team start to sweat.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday we saw Kazna against... Monday we saw Kazna against Synergy, and they lost their bat chat. Synergy lost their bat chat and still managed to win on this map, so maybe this can happen for Utopia as well. But the problem is, of course, the Happy Bubble's there, obviously going to be providing support, and you've got the artillery as well, so it's very hard to get the second cap, cap number 2 actually completed. You have all the things you need to be able to get it done, and yeah, I mean, Utopia just languishing behind. Great shot for Mursky, and just getting this cap decapped.
So let's look at Luti Pavlo right now as well. Now, what you want to do as Utopia is punish Luti Pavlo for actually committing to rolling over a little bit and getting the shot down. Now, decent gun depression on the STB, not great, decent. So he can reset Forbidden if he goes over the hill. What Utopia would like to do is punish him for doing so, but they're down 1 TVP who was on that island. So they could potentially track and perma-track Luti Pavlo there and actually kill him outright. But they only have got 1 TVP on the hill. Desha can't actually kill Luti Pavlo in 1 clip. So Luti Pavlo can actually go and get that 1 important reset. But look at that damage that Forbidden's taken. I'm pretty sure Mursky is all about it right now. He has shots on towards that IS-7. So all Forbidden can do is roll back and forth and hope not to get hit, but it's a bit of a flimsy strategy, Ollie.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is looking like Synergy's game right now. They've really not got any pressure on them. They can just sit here. They don't have to worry about any artillery because, well, Utopia doesn't have any. They can get the resets via Happy Bubble as long as Luti Pavlo and John proxy spot, and Mursky can also chime in if it's necessary, and he'll be able to get the splash damage at least very easily because the RU-251 wreck is not particularly big. Second shell comes in, easy as you like, onto the back of Forbidden. He's now 1 shot for artillery, 1 shot for the 113s and the FE2 113s, and yeah, that's about it. So, yeah, I mean, Utopia, I felt like they kind of lost this game before they even started. And so far now 3,000, 4,000 hit points behind. I mean, I don't see any way they can get back into this game.
We're seeing a real shift in meta here in mid-season towards his artilleries, and you can see Mursky really showing why they're so important to have right now. He's done a lot of damage, of course. He's taken out Wicked pretty much fully. He's done most of that damage towards Forbidden. He's the whole reason why Utopia can't cap. The man right here as well. I mean, like, his job is pretty simple. It's a top-down view of the map as artillery, and you're pretty much clicking. That's why we call artillery players clickers. But that is how you do it. Forbidden, going up against a team with artillery, knew that he would never really be safe, even with the RU-251 hull in front of him, and he finally goes down. And
looking at Mursky's position, it seemed to me like Sinji was aware that maybe Utopia would go for that left side. But when they take such a slow lineup, and the fact that they went for that early spot, you know, it kind of puts themselves into a really one-dimensional tactic where they have to get control of that left island and push through that avenue. And now 3 versus 7, no one really taking much damage from Synergy, and they look like they want to take advantage of that.
That's all too easy. Utopia will put out of this game before it really started, like you said, Oliver. Mokka's going to get finished here in that FE215B, in fact, to such a degree that he might even be ignored as John wants to go forward. Bishi gets the finish, but he goes down, and it's just Desha left. He is a one-shot. He's looking straight down the barrel at Ludi Pavlo. He will drop to Mihailov, and that is a very, very convincing win there from Synergy. Again, astonishingly good use of artillery. Got one shot, did a ton of damage towards Forbidden as well. We don't always get to see those moments where artillery does damage. Sometimes they're not super important shots, or they don't define the pace of the game, but definitely Mursky was the reason that Synergy won that one.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, good on him that he was aiming towards the island. It's very natural for a team to send a player, very common for it to send a player over to that western side island in the beginning. So they had the spots through the middle of the map. They found that TVP quite easily, and Mursky just clicked. Got the shot perfectly. It's not easy in M40, you know, you got to get the timing right and also a bit of a roll of the dice. But he got it done, and, you know, that's, you know, so many one-shots we've seen this week with artillery pieces. And either way, even if you didn't get that one shot, with that tactic Utopia utilized, I think they would have still won the game, because how could have Utopia capped in that situation with artillery? They just simply couldn't have done it. So they would have had to win with some sort of other tactic, which they couldn't have really executed because they gave out control of the hill. And yeah, 6 shots, basically landing every single one, not missing anything, and 4.4k done.
Yeah, I mean, 2 splash damage shots from Mursky and 4 direct hits. You can't ask for much more than that. 44-54 damage, one of the highest totals that's been logged all season. Second highest, there you go. Thanks, stats man. And obviously head and shoulders above the rest of his team, because Mursky really did all the work here. And
Desha HD will be shaking his boots right now, you know.
Yeah.
Hoping that Mursky doesn't beat his record of 5.1.
Yeah, that was pretty scary stuff. And that was in Ghost Town, wasn't it?
Yeah, our next map.
So that's going to be exciting. Yeah, Ghost Town just around the corner here. Nice. All right, I'm pumped for that. Towards the bottom, McMoney, Wicked, and Forbidden with all 0 damage each. So, yeah.
I mean, it's unfortunate. I think if you train a lot for a tactic, you get the first bits of execution right, and then you just get nailed by artillery. You know, it's a massive moral slump for you.
McMoney was supposed to just be scenery. It was just cover. Wicked got 1 shot by artillery, and Forbidden in that IS-7 was just capping. So that's 3 tanks there that really couldn't actually do anything for Utopia by definition, and was not... I mean, McMoney was never really supposed to fire a shot. He was actually supposed to keep his turret in such a direction to protect the IS-7 behind him. So flimsy strategy. You cannot get away with that kind of strategy when there's an artillery on the map, but when you go in and you see you're up against artillery, you have to sort of stick to what you know. You can't always mix it up so much. So good draft. I mean, well, not even a draft. I mean, it's a good blind pick coming out here from Synergy in terms of knowing what to play. Now, we talk about artillery. Not going to have any right now, unfortunately. We're going to be jumping into Ghost Town, as you did say. And both teams going for the double Conqueror strat here. So using those 2 T9 slots for just extra beef on the side of their team here. And I don't really see anything too crazy in terms of lineups here. You can see Utopia. In fact, both of them are pretty standard. I mean, E100 coming in for Synergy, maybe a little bit notable, but really, the core of FE215Bs and Conquerors, these 2 teams definitely have practiced against each other a fair bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's a mirrored lineup apart from that E100, so that's going to be interesting. We don't often get to see the double Conquerors against each other. Normally, we see a team with, for instance, 6 tier 10s and 1 tier 8.
Or a 54
or
and
a T54 lightweight and a Conqueror, so a T54 just general and a Conqueror, exactly. So that's good. I mean, it's going to be perhaps indicating that both teams want to go for the brawl, because there's not a single IS-7 or smaller tank on this map. So it's just going to come down to pure brawn. And Synergy with that E100, if they can get the controlling parts of this map down, then I think they have the advantage slightly. Yeah, okay, the 50B is better on the flank, but we've seen, like Kasner play double 50Bs and losing against the E100 already. The E100 it can bounce a lot on that turret if you use it correctly, if you angle it correctly, and the 750 damage is a huge amount and the most a heavy tank, biggest gun a heavy tank has in the game.
Yep.
And it's a very good gun indeed. So,
and that's
used
alpha
correctly,
as
it's
well.
perfect. Yeah, exactly.
So it can be more, can be less as
Use
well.
HE as well if you want to get decaps and stuff.
So Dreamlike is the biggest point of difference, in fact the only point of difference between these two teams. So that is where we're looking for differences in strategy and how that all works out. So far Dreamlike copying a shot now. E100's cheeks I think are fairly easy to penetrate as flat surfaces go. Quite a lot of those high-tier German tanks have similar weaknesses in that regard here as well. A mouse, notable one example, its cheeks are a little bit easier to penetrate. So, you know, I think Utopia will know this as well. He'll be looking up towards that turret to try and punch through. Dreamlike has a lot of health, but he's losing it pretty quickly. It's another big shot towards him. That was Desher, I think, moving up and getting a good roll of that damage.
How is Synergy going to decap this?
Well, from this position they can't because they have to actually show themselves. This is how they decap. They expose themselves side on, I guess, to a lot of these tanks here. John comes forward, but I love this from Utopia. Look at this, just set up on the cap. Now they're going to fight. They're more than happy. I think that is the completed cap as well. They didn't have the time. They didn't give themselves enough. And that should be the round here. Yep, done and dusted. How about that one, ladies and gentlemen? If you call with your pants down, even our producer's like, Utopia won. Okay. I mean, even I was quite shocked. We said, how are they going to decap?
Yeah.
The way that the map is sort of structured towards that part is that where Synergy was set up, you can't just see straight towards the cap. No. You need to come around a corner and then another corner.
And then go up slightly.
So you have to do a C shape before you can even get towards a cap. And it was super simple, man. Utopia had tanks on the cap and they had tanks to catch you on that C road. Yeah, wrecked. I mean, that was very, very short round here.
Yeah.
And if you're bringing all these heavy tanks, you can't always respond to something quickly. And maybe Synergy lacking the cool head to realize that we need to move fast.
Yeah, they didn't have an artillery or a T-54, so they couldn't get the decap like as a safety net. But I feel like the thing is, at the beginning of the game, you always have a set strategy, like you're going to go X to X, Y, and Z with your tanks. And Synergy was executing that. But Utopia just pushed into one position. Synergy was still executing that first strategy, you know, and that could have potentially won them the game, you know, if they actually managed to get into the position. But obviously it didn't work out like that because, yeah, they weren't quick enough to respond. They were halfway in between a road. And, yeah, Utopia simply managed to outplay them, guessed what they wanted to do, and just capped out very easily. I mean, they weren't even close to getting the reset. Yeah. You're talking about like a 5-second window. Buffer zone Utopia had there. So, yeah, not very much damage done by anyone, of course. And it's good that Utopia had a good amount of defensive positions as well. They kind of crossed off Synergy, so in case by some miracle Synergy actually managed to get a decap, Utopia would have done a significant amount of damage to those tanks, and then they could have easily just won the brawl anyway.
It's a real pleasure to watch these two teams play, actually, because both of them have shown these strokes of brilliance, or they do think about the game a lot in terms of the tactical sense here. Yep. And I like a team who will just pick up their bollocks and put themselves on towards the cap with 3 tanks, get it done, and the other team as well is not able to respond to it quickly. Now, Synergy is a team that can come up with some intricate plans, but if you have to come up with something kind of quickly, that might not be something that works for them. They like to think through something a bit and come up with something super complex with, you know, all these different interactions going on. But when it's as simple as get to the chopper, it doesn't seem like they're able to do it.
Exactly. That's the hard part, get to the chopper. I don't think my Arnie accent's got great. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing right now. When you got 2 close teams like that, the rounds just seem to be swinging one way to a really adverse factor towards one team, and the next round is going to go really to the other team. So I have to see if Synergy can actually change things up. Now they're on the attack on Ghost Town, and perhaps they have something up their sleeves, and Utopia certainly do as well. So this is going to be interesting.
Oh, I love the double Waffenträger and the RT as well, though. That's pretty interesting here. Oliver, I don't know what your thoughts are. I mean, seeing only 4, I guess, sort of heavy tanks, or 3 heavy tanks and 1 medium here. Utopia definitely putting a lot of their faith in terms of the Waffenträgers and that artillery doing work. It's Papa, of course, in the M40, M43.
Yeah, I mean, that artillery piece has so far been successful on this map, basically regardless of any previous results we've seen from it. And it's going to be a good decapper. I think Utopia don't have to worry about that northern cap with the artillery piece as long as they have that T62A in a hull-down position, which is, of course, where it thrives. With a slightly stronger turret armor than the Object 140, in case you're wondering why the teams pick it over the 140, which obviously has better DPM.
Ask Grosser all about it.
Yeah, and Grosser's obviously a massive fan of that tank. Probably should play that little video in the breaks, see if he can do a Superman impression again. But Happy Bubble, Mucker, and Desha having a little bit of a standoff at the beginning. No damage received, of course, with that double Waffentrager lineup from UTOPIA. They're on the defensive side, but they are very much a glass cannon kind of team.
All right, so this is pretty simple. I mean, maybe one of our observers can bring up the map for us here. Very straightforward. First of all, artillery in the north plus a 62-8 spot. Northern cap is not a possibility. UTOPIA now have pushed down towards the south as well, and they said, Synergy, if you want to get even close to one of these cap points, you are going to have to fight the majority of our team for it. And the use of Waffentragers on these corners so they can be flankers, they can be the second line assault, they can take Synergy by surprise and mess them right up. And now Synergy have to sort of change their tact a bit here. Now that road, I guess, sort of at E7, they might try and push up that here as well. That's where UTOPIA have a little bit less of their force, so that might be an option.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing is that UTOPIA are pretty far back, so they're actually going to spot this push quite late, which means that the artillery won't have very much time to react. And with a double Waffentrager, if they don't do enough damage in that first few seconds of the brawl, they are going to start to run out of damage, and that's where Synergy can come into the game. They just need to kind of stay alive for the first 10 seconds, and they should be okay. And the T-62A as well could be late to the battle, and you can see they are starting to make their way up to that northern cap now.
Yeah, probing and prodding Synergy, just trying to find an opening in the defensive structure for UTOPIA. And to be fair, they've managed to circumvent a large part of the force, but they do have to be concerned about the Shukyu and the Artie in the north. But now Shukyu's been spotted. He has to be a little bit careful here. However, being spotted himself, he has been able to reveal Lucy Pavlo, and I think it was Mihailov as well. So that's shots for Papa. He can take them. But right now, Synergy are just huddled amongst those buildings. So nothing that Papa can really fire at. But this is tough stuff for Synergy right now. UTOPIA have a chance to now relocate themselves. The Waffentrager E100 at G4 can't do anything right now. He really needs to pull up his socks and get moving. You can see he's going to do just that. Happy Bubble is, as you can see, waiting on the corner. And this is what I wanted to see here. This is the bulk of Synergy's force, and they've had to move them up around in a bit of a reverse C shape to try and find a weak point on UTOPIA. But UTOPIA have had the time to respond. They've got the Waffentrager right at the back who can come around the corner and just let a clip go, plus a couple of FV215 beats. So Synergy wanting to exploit some of the weaknesses, those softer tanks in UTOPIA, but UTOPIA are keeping them back in reserve. That's how you should be using tank destroyers.
Exactly. So now for Synergy, and they obviously prodded up and towards that cap number 1, saw the T-62A, knew that they were just going to get spotted and taken down by Papa Pavian pretty quickly. But I think they have committed to this northern side. I don't really see how they can do anything else. And I think it's going to be a two-pronged attack. The problem is, with the Waffentrager, of course, it's going to be pretty pretty vicious how much damage they're going to take at the beginning. So in Dreamlight, you all need to go first. Also end the Conqueror in first because it's just a tier 9. But UTOPIA just holding fast, and it does actually look like Synergy are starting to roll their way back in towards the middle, and they might just push through that EF line straight into cap number 2 and do basically the same thing UTOPIA did, but they are being spotted by the slight readjustments from UTOPIA and Shuku. Yeah,
and look how quickly the FV215Bs of UTOPIA have moved now back towards E4. So they've come down the road, they're ready. They've also mobilizing their Waffentragers as well to try and get them into position. Now, not the slowest tank actually. Waffentrager can move, all right. Look at that. That's an artillery shot. Stunning stuff there from Papa Pavian. Mirsky tracked up and taking a lot of damage there as he just sort of moved across on opening. He was lit, as far as I understand. So, you know, it was just a judgment call coming out from Papa to make the shot, and it was definitely well worth it. So Synergy knocking on the door and finding it to be completely barred on the inside.
Yeah, they're just getting absolutely cancelled down, and I feel that's Ghost Town. You know, you get within 50 meters of another team and you still don't have an engagement because, you know, you just push around one corner, and Ghost Town is all about pushing around the corners and being effective around them. You just get cancelled out immediately. And it's actually quite a confusing map because there are so many different routes and everything's, you know, symmetrical, and it's just confusing sometimes to play. And sometimes you feel like you've driven through one part, but you're driving into the same part again. You feel like you're going in circles. You know, it can be pretty hard to play, but you can see Wicked with a beautiful shot through those windows.
That angle is so nice. Then Ludi Pavlo taking a ton of damage as he tries to cross past. Mihailov is not lit, so he can actually move through there unfettered, but there's John taking a hit. These Waffentragers are a big threat right now for UTOPIA, and they've managed to work Synergy down to much more of a manageable chunk, I guess. You can see now fairly even in terms of health points. Ludi Pavlo and Mirsky have taken a bit of a beating. John also have taken a hit. So Synergy now, frustration has to start to be building for them. Crespix really wants to get into the fight, but unfortunately, as an attacking tank destroyer, you're going to be peeking into some sort of setup here. And Crespix just kind of, maybe he might try and finish off Wicked and quickly 2 shots. If he gets the first shot, he could probably only take 1 hit, but he's very nervous about this. And look at that damage. That, again, was Papa on towards Mirsky. What a stunning effort from him. Another great shot towards an FE215B.
Synergy are losing patience, and so are Utopia. Utopia now significantly ahead in terms of HP compared to what they started with. And if Synergy just sit here, I mean, it's going to be Papa Pavian punishing more with the artillery piece. Bishu receives, though, 877 damage. Crespix receives a little bit more. So right now, both teams are starting to work each other down.
Crespix just got smacked up there as well. A rare bounce from the front of that E100 there. And actually, Wicked drops to John. So despite getting hammered earlier on, Synergy actually managed to get the first casualty here. But Bishu is still ready and willing to fire with the rest of his shots. And Shuki gets a little bit of a flank on Dreamlike, but even in the 62A, I think firing HE there is your goal there, Moon, for the 62A. I don't really think it's... Heat, sorry, yes. You have HE, but Heat is... It's not APCR, is more my point. So, tough to punch to the E100 there. Mooka takes a big couple hits, and he's going to go down. Now, Synergy actually starting to wake up and move forward. Is it too little too late here? Diable and Desh are just trying to huddle together and do some damage, but they've got shots coming in from the back as well. This is where Papa needs to really spring into work. Synergy now in the lead. Health points trickling down for Utopia as the fighting goes back and forth. They've managed to isolate these 2 FVs. Beautiful stuff.
Yeah, they're really doing well right now, Synergy. They've come back into this game extraordinarily. They decided to push in, but Happy Bubble going for a bit of suicide, gets burst, and that's put Utopia back into this game.
It's not really good from Happy Bubble because he saved Utopia a shot that they would otherwise have to use to finish him off. So, bit of a mishap there for him now. Mihailov and Desha. We're locked in a mortal combat there, but it will be Mihailov to fall. Desha now still being threatened, still being flanked out, and he will drop down as Dreamlike does let rip on him. It's a 3v3. Utopia have the piece of artillery, and Synergy have 2 minutes and 25 seconds to either finish this or go for a cap. And I'm telling you now, capping is definitely their safest option. Bishu, healthy enough, however, is still a 1-shot to an E100, so has to be careful. Shukyu as well, with a bit of health on him. And Papa is going to get frustrated here as well, because it's going to be a little bit tricky to get decent shots on towards Synergy unless he relocates. So we're going to have to see if he moves, but they're going for the cap. They've got 3 tanks. They can really make this cap quite quick. And it's all about Utopia getting free damage and slowing this down.
1 minute and 52 seconds, and there's 2 or 3 tanks in the cap now, so it's quite a bit of pressure onto Utopia. Synergy are slightly ahead in terms of hit points, but Papa Pavian is, of course, the main point of interest. If he can land a shell onto Luti Pavilo, it will be game over, and it's going to be a 3 versus 2. But Bishu is a 1-shot for the E100, and a 2-shot for the rest of the tanks, so he's got to be careful. I feel like the T62A should go first, or maybe just send the artillery in.
Oh, I don't think Utopia have had enough time to think about this one. Now, 3 seconds. There comes the reset. That was Papa, wasn't it? Maybe not. I don't know. Bishu goes in, finishes off Dreamlike, and there's Ludi Pavlo going like, it was actually Papa. He did get 1 shot on towards the E100. If Shuki can finish off Ludi Pavlo, well, John is going to make a meal of him here as well. He's got a full clip, and he's going to be able to take that 62A down. So, unfortunately, losing that Waffentrager, not good news here. Shuki trying to hope that Papa could get some shots on towards that last AMX-50B of John, but it's all but done here. I think with 2 tanks, they do have enough time to cap this one out. John just needs to get it. What, with 2 tanks? I think they can speed it up enough.
I don't think so.
Well, one of them's going to have to go after Papa. That could be quite interesting here. I think they do. Let's see. Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, the numbers are not seconds necessarily.
Yeah, that's true.
There's double, but yeah, they have enough time now with 2.
All right, I'm the analyst now. Okay. You can be play-by-play. All right, well, I mean, Papa now...
Going to have to do that blind shot thing for the second time on this map.
Hype. This could be hype. Oh, he's done it! Ludi Pavlo hits the deck! What a shot from Papa Pavian! He's secured Utopia's victory! He's got his gun up in the air, prouder than a honeymooner hanging out of his window, and it's John Corleone now, has 10 seconds to finish him off! What a beast! No information whatsoever for Papa, just a guess, and he's landed the shot, and he's done it! 3 seconds left, and Utopia are going to go 3-1!
Unbelievable stuff from Papa Pavian. The man's an absolute beast. That's how you blind shot HD. You failed yesterday, but Papa Pavian's going to take that gauntlet and just drink from it. The glorious blind shot comes out. And this is the thing, that was that bluff situation where you had Synergy in that right side of the cap the whole time. They were spotted, and Papa just decided, you know, I'm going to go for that spot again. I'm going to shoot where I shot last time. And he hits. Unbelievable.
Papa has renewed his MVP status, I think, Ollie.
Yeah.
Again on Ghost
Artillery
Town. It's
MVP.
always Ghost Town where he pulls out some incredible stuff there.
I mean, he should have never been in that situation, though, but unbelievable.
I don't care, to be honest. Beautiful stuff. We've so often seen those last artillery pieces just give up when they don't have their teammates there as well. But Papa had a decent angle on towards the cap there. You could see that he could fire, and he was doing consistent damage. I mean, he actually only made 3 direct hits and 1 splash damage off 7 shots, so he definitely made it count.
But he direct hit as well. It was no fanning about with the splash thing. He just smacked straight into the side of that E100 or whatever it was, a Conqueror, I think, and just took it out. And I'm pretty impressed by Synergy. The fact that they managed to get back into this game. I mean, we saw the Waffentrager start to go down, and yeah, okay, Bishu did a lot there, but Wicked 2,700 damage could have done more. Papa Pavian, definitely the MVP this match. It's always a gamble. I mean, that right side is technically the most safe position because, of course, they knew Papa was in front of them, so there's a wall there, but there's not enough of a wall because Papa actually relocated down to the C area, CD area instead of being in the A area. So, yeah, really good prediction. And if I was Synergy, I'd be super pissed because why did they just choose another part of the cap which they haven't been in before? And I don't know.
As soon as I saw John barreling down the hill towards Shukyo, I was like, "This is over. This is surely over." He's got 3 shots left.
We went full Korean.
I don't know, man. Yeah, I know. That was pretty high, man. I'm sweating after that one. I'm not gonna lie. The sheen on my face. That was incredible stuff here. So let's take stock of things here, Ollie. Utopia 3-1 now, up in the lead after, beautiful stuff on Ghost Town, really. They played
2 rounds.
2 very, very good rounds. And now we move over to Murovanka as well, which is maybe a question mark over Utopia on this map. I mean, what are your thoughts about their play on this one? I think back to Penta Utopia on this one. I think it was a little bit dicier there for them. I mean, what are their stats like?
66% for Synergy, 75% for Utopia, so pretty close. I remember Kazner and Utopia played on this one, and he got pretty close. Not Kazner and Utopia. It's Utopia and someone else, someone in the beginning of the season, and Utopia really put up a good fight. And I think, for me, like if Utopia just hangs on the defense, they're going to be able to go on match point. I think they're going to be able to win this one. I mean, after that devastating loss there in that last round for Synergy, I mean, I couldn't come back from that. They are getting pretty close to being rolled out this match horribly, and it's going to take a miracle, I think. But Murovanka surely won't be a 2-0 for Synergy.
Yeah, and can you imagine for Synergy how frustrated they must be after losing that last round? Psychologically, Synergy have always been a team that is susceptible to tilt. I'll put it like that here.
Yeah.
So
they break pretty quickly.
3-1, Melly. What an incredible showing there in those last couple of rounds.
Crazy.
Papa again MVP.
Didn't look like it the first 3 rounds, to be honest.
No.
Like back and forth and back and forth. I thought this is going to continue over the...
Almost did.
Yeah, almost, right?
Yeah.
But Papa Pavian.
Papa Pavian's always there to save
So
the day.
sick.
Something about him and Ghost Town seemed to click really well.
So sick. It's a 59-16 or it's an artillery piece.
Doesn't
It's
matter.
never like a tier 10, you know what I mean? That's the crazy part.
I really can't wait for Twitch chat's reaction on that. That's why I'm just, my eyes are glued to a screen. And people, you guys at home voted that this is going to be a very, very close one. Well, at first the vote started out in favor of Utopia, but that was really, really early in the beginnings of the set voting. But now it has settled down on 52% for Utopia, which is almost nothing of an advantage. 2% points, come on, it's almost 50-50, and a lot of people at home agreed that this is the match of the day, and it's holding its promise.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, these 2 teams are really good, and I have to give credit to Synergy. They are stepping up as a team, considering last season.
Yes.
I mean, Synergy are doing really well. I think Crespix is a good player, Mursky
Yes.
great. Inclusion and Dreamlike, yeah, he's had a couple of quiet matches, but he's been pretty good.
Yeah, the season is going so great so far. It's crazy. And also, if we just look on the Super Week, what matches we already witnessed.
Yep.
And tomorrow, I don't want to excite you guys, but if you can scroll down on Twitch, you can see the schedule.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is going to be the sickest day. I can't wait for that one.
Boy, it's going to be good.
So, well, there's only
Vote
one way.
is closed at this point. Sorry, guys.
That's all right. There's only going to be one way that we get there, to be honest, and that's by getting through this one here as well. Let's go towards our next map. It is going to be the old Murovanka, which is first time we're seeing that one tonight, and an interesting one. I mean, we brought it back into the map pool for this season. Double team 110E5 and artillery for Synergy. I like a bit of that stuff here. Utopia, more flexibility, more speed, definitely less armor.
Yeah, so I think Synergy, again, they're gambling with artillery. as they are on the attacking side, on the defensive side, sorry. So that's a big gamble. I mean, a lot of the attacking teams use artillery to try and break down the defensive T110E5s. So interesting stuff from Synergy. If they're going to be able to make it work, probably going for that decap. But I feel like here, Utopia have gambled correctly, seeing that Synergy loves to bring artillery when they can. They've picked up a very light, fast, medium tank lineup, which will be a perfect counter to that. So right now, I think Utopia has a good chance on the attack, even though technically Murovanka is a bit more of a defensive map with about 54% of the matches, of the rounds going towards defense.
Right, so there you have it. Let's see now, of course, is we do have Utopia on the spread out here, heading towards the forest here, interestingly enough, from the north side, which is maybe less common than the push towards the west and that capture point number 1. So we'll see if it works out. Synergy don't really have a light tank too far towards the east, so they're not going to see a lot of this action right now. As Mac Money will be up at the front. Mihailov might be able to spot him from a distance here, but Utopia making some ground here, pretty much undetected.
They're really starting to go forwards, and interestingly enough, Synergy hasn't gone for the typical tactic of putting an AMX 3090 in H8, H9, which is of course what we saw from Oops first, and the Russian server as well. So that's a brave move, I feel, from Synergy, and just not going for the information game, instead just playing pretty far back and towards the defensive lines with the T110s. And Utopia look like they are actually starting to plod their way to the better part of this map, which is of course the south with those medium tanks, and may go for a 2-cap.
Mac Money now will be the one sent forward to do a little bit of scouting, a little bit of recon here, and he's going to run into Mihailov in a few moments. There is enough of a deflate here and enough bushes to keep him protected for the time being. You will note that he has coated optics as well, so he can get a look. No binocs though, mind you, so it does catch a glimpse of Mihailov though. And the blind shots are actually coming in now, but Mihailov being lit, maybe he tried to fire back, but he knows he might be in a bit of trouble at a moment. Here come the shots in, Mihailov wondering who the heck spotted him, but he's actually able to shake off a lot of this damage. In fact, taken none yet, as he's just behind a small dip, and he does have a 62A. Tough to punch through the turret.
Yeah, definitely. And interesting that Utopia haven't really moved. I mean, they got the RE251 down south, and it could easily get taken down by Mursky because it's very close. And it looks to me like Utopia just starting to pool in the middle, just to push straight through across this rid line in the middle and go for that cap number 1 unspotted. But, you know, the fact they have gone for the mediums does make it a little bit harder to take down the T110s, and they don't have quite the damage potential and the survivability of the Utopia side, but they are using them correctly. They're being fast, they're not getting spotted, they're just zooming around the map, they're trying to find angles, and it looks like they are, or at least have settled for a northern push.
Shukyu here will be the first to head over onto this side. So, I mean, Utopia now have a presence in the north and south. Again, Mihailov being lit, but I don't really think the firing squad is ready to deal with him. And Shukyu getting that rare once in a match bounce there off the bat chat, fortunately enough, as he's probably shook off a shot from his opposite number there. I think one of the other bat chats was firing towards him. Yeah, Dreamlight just going on full reload now as well, which, depending on how close Utopia are to pushing forward, could be a bad idea. It's a long reload time, but I don't think he'll be punished for it here.
Yeah, definitely not. And Mihailov getting spotted again by the RE251s. I think is if Utopia do commit to this middle area, they aren't going to get punished by the artillery piece. You can see Desha just received 700 damage, Shuku receiving 600, and right now they are being punished back to back, and they're not really making this faster medium tank lineup work for them.
No.
Just being taken out by the tanks that are sitting in normal positions in the bush. More damage coming out to Muka.
Look, Muka just got wrecked there. 1130 shaved off of him, and this is... Utopia pretty much have lost already. I hate to say it, but they've taken so much damage. They're so out of position there. Ludi Pavlo gets the track on towards Muka from the hill. Shots bouncing off the heads of these TVPs, but guarantee you in the next few salvos, they're going to be finding their marks, and Utopia just look like they've got no idea really what they're doing. Yeah, it's an offensive map. Yeah, I mean, Mihailov was supposed to be dealt with a lot earlier, and the 62A turret really keeping him alive there. Utopia now forcing to receive shells from all directions.
Yeah, this is not going well for Utopia. They're so far behind in HP now, 3,000. 4,000 hit points even, sorry. So I don't know. I mean, they obviously with the medium tanks they need to be fast and aggressive, and I felt like maybe just pushing onto Dreamlike and the south at the same time, like we've seen them do before, could have been an option. But this push here does kind of negate Mursky's effectiveness, but you got John and Mieloff on the side.
Utopia's so low already, though. That's the thing. John still has full clip to go. Mihailov getting consistent damage from the back of the map. Mursky just holding his shot there until he needs it. Ludi Pavlo in from behind, and it's pretty much downhill from here for Utopia. I hate to count a team out before the game's over, but Utopia messed up here, to be fair. They put themselves right into the middle of, well, I guess like a C-shaped defensive setup of Synergy. The hill's only going to give them a small amount of protection. Now with Crespi's going towards Dybel as well. Finish comes in from Happy Bubble. It's only 3 tanks left now. Make money over towards the side. Finally chasing down Mihailov close enough here, but Mihailov will pick him up. Easy done. 2 tanks left in Utopia. They will fall.
Yeah, game over. 2 versus 7. Basically, everyone's Synergy still alive. I mean, we all saw how that one transpired. Just destroyed every single angle. I felt Utopia didn't really have a good idea how they wanted to utilize that faster medium tank lineup from, you know, with the TVPs, the Batchats, the RU251. I felt they did know where Synergy were because they had the RU251, so they were spotting across, and to be honest, Synergy were just in their normal positions. But they pushed through the middle, fair enough. They didn't push particularly aggressively. They didn't go in towards that cap number 1, but they just got punished immediately. 700 damage, artillery coming in against Mucker as well. And they just got raped from that point onwards. No chance to get into the game. And yeah, I mean, if you're going to use a fast and furious lineup, you need to use it effectively, pushing in for the north at the same time as pushing in from the south, or just charging through the middle. But either way, yeah, okay, Mursky in the artillery piece is kind of negated with this lighter lineup. But on this map, where you only have a very limited amount of options, you know, what to do and where to go, you can pretty easily pre-aim where the mediums will go anyway, and they're going to be moving pretty slowly. And
we did see, yeah, I think it was Shuki getting hammered by one of those shots coming in as well. He was shot by Mursky and by another tank at the same time. So, I mean, we're talking free damage in the order of 4,000 to 5,000 for Synergy in the early stage of the round, and this is why you're seeing it right now. I mean, you can see batch out of John. I mean, Mihailov as well. He was the first tank to be spotted on the side of Synergy, and he was just unkillable because his turret's so strong. And all that was firing him was a bunch of TVPs and, I don't know, Object 140s, STB1s. It's just not enough penetration to get through the head of that tank. So great choice, great. The T62A, because of that turret, will always be that tank you go to situationally, right? In other ways, Object 140 is a little bit better, a little bit more well-rounded, but they just use that tank well in that position. Mursky didn't have to do too much that game, did about 700 damage. Desha got hammered there. Unfortunately, not actually being able to do any damage as well. And you can see you've got your 2 TVPs only firing between them 9 shots and 270 damage. That's a real sign that the core of your DPS is not being utilized.
The core of your tactic just didn't work. I mean, if you got so many players there, 4 out of 7 players just basically not doing anything, you got shot down at some point in the match and taken out pretty easy. So yeah, we said that's a possibility. I mean, technically, Utopia should be able to win the defensive side at least. Looking at the lineups, though, which you'll get to see on your screen as we do head into our second round of Murovanka, Synergy on the attack and Utopia now on the defensive side, it's going to be an interesting match. Like, it could go either way, I feel.
Well, you did say beforehand that you don't think Synergy are going to get 2 rounds off of this one. So let's see what their attack side's like, because we've seen good attacks on the western side of the map where you can set up and get a quick cap going. Utopia are a team who've done that before. They've rushed that cap just like they did on Ghost Town, and it worked. So maybe that's the plan here. Their lineup will tell us a whole lot of the story. Some interesting picks here, of course. We have the Mouse coming in for Utopia, and also the T57 Heavy at tier 9 being picked up here for Synergy.
Yeah, interesting T57. I think that may be one of the first times we've seen it on this map. But yeah, the Mouse we've seen before. We've seen on the defensive side, I believe Utopia used against Kazna. Not effectively, it just got absolutely taken down very quickly. You can just simply pounce on it. But we see it on the attacking side before yesterday, I believe. So the defensive side is always a different question. But the thing is, Mursky is playing that artillery again, right? And for Utopia, that's the perfect thing. The Mouse is so easy to hit for artillery, even that M40 can hit it.
Yep.
If you just spot that Mouse, just continue punishing it. For every 40 seconds, you have to reload. Use Mursky to start to bring it down, and then you have a more easy way into the game. You don't really have to sacrifice anything as well.
So, yet again, artillery being the core of a strategy here for Synergy. And what a great answer to Mucker on that Mouse. Seeing them use it on both sides of the map, Synergy. Murski with limited success last time around, but we've seen we've seen Artillery earlier tonight against a E100 mouse composition on mine, just wreck them. So that's what we're looking for here. See if it's going to be a reality now. As Synergy look to get this next round back and maybe, force even a tiebreaker or even a victory, it's still within their grasp here, especially after a strong showing here. To put both teams on even footing at 3 apiece. Wicked also has to be careful as well. He's quite susceptible to damage, and he, as a tank that's always going to be hulling over the hill, he's going to be pretty much always spotted. Always spotted, because to get information about how Synergy are changing position, he will need to keep poking up over, and has a little bit of damage going towards Wicked there. Nothing really to write home about. But that was UTOPIA up on the hill there as well, getting into him. So Mooker also in danger. Murski misses his first shot towards the hill. Poor observers getting heart attacks trying to follow all his action here, but we can see that first shot not really meaning much, but the cap's already begun.
So John and Dreamlike seem to be linking up now. UTOPIA is in that hold down position in the T110E5. So it looks like they want to push them through. Obviously, they don't have to do anything like that until the cap gets reset, which it just did. Very good job by Papapavi in there.
Roll.
You can see the T57 has a stronger turret armor than the AMX50B, but still easily penetratable. And an AMX 3090 in from behind, also a big plus. And maybe Synergy now has to commit something to kill this 3090 if they want to have a realistic chance of winning. And Dreamlike still there in the background. And I feel with that 3090 in the middle, like as soon as Synergy start to get a bit aggressive, UTOPIA is just going to bang that 3090 onto this artillery, cancel it out, which will free the mouse and the T110E5 up, and of course give them that advantage quite nicely.
And you can see Dreamlike's being a bit nervous about it. He doesn't want to go too far away from that top corner of the map and leave his artillery sort of vulnerable, but you see now they're starting to make a push. And STB, TVP, and the Batchat are heading towards the middle of the map here. So if they can kill McMoney, there's not going to be any threat towards their artillery. Murski can breathe a sigh of relief, and he can just get ready to do work towards those heavier tanks. Dreamlike is lit. McMoney there has now been lit as well, so he needs to get the heck out of dodge immediately. 3 tanks on his tail. To be fair, 39 is pretty damn fast, but here comes the push as well. Mooker and Wicked coming forward now. This is going to make a target of themselves, but they want to get rid of Happy Bubble as quickly as they can. Mooker taking a lot of damage, but Happy Bubble only gets one shot of that clip out. That's how you swarm on towards that tank. Mooker knows he's going to take damage, but he wants to soak it up. He's happy to do this right now. Shukyu also takes down John, and UTOPIA spring into action at just the right time.
Such logic from UTOPIA as well. The AMX 3090 was in the perfect bush to spot that push. They saw, so much commitment from Synergy. I thought maybe they sent a Batchat after that 3090. They sent 3 tanks, or 2 tanks, a Batchat and a net TVP. And UTOPIA's like, wait, this is going to be our match easily. Just pushing forwards with the mouse, the T110, take care of the T57 really quickly because they've already done some damage. And then Synergy has to try and run back.
You two are like, Synergy, you buck it up, you put half your team across the side of the map. Now we're just going to push on to the rest and have the overmatch. And that is exactly what UTOPIA now want. However, some firing back coming from these medium tanks here. UTOPIA in the distance getting hammered a little bit, but this is Mihailoff and Crespix holding up to this push fairly nicely. Desh is on reload and can't do anything. Shukyu needs to let some of these shots go and even the scales, because UTOPIA is going 2v1 right now, and he can win this one quite easily. He misses that. He does. He bounces actually the shot towards Papa there. Lucky the turret of the STB is fairly durable, and UTOPIA will fall. Shukyu with 1 shot left wants to finish on Mihailoff. He'll get it too, and McMoney also getting involved in this fight against Crespix. And good burst towards that TVP. McMoney has 1 more shot. He's not able to make it count. He will drop to that TVP. Maybe he'll just try and keep him busy for the moment there. Desh is going to come to the rescue as well. Bigshy's going to be there with the reload. And this is great from UTOPIA. Great turnaround. Murski making the shot there. I think he actually got
Mucker.
Yeah, he got Mooker in that mouse, but the mouse survived the whole game. Perfect stuff from UTOPIA.
All 7 alive.
Yeah, exactly. Another occasion where health is being shared a lot. The mouse in there just soak up a lot of it. You saw that initial push, Ollie, and let's talk about that, because that's where things started to go right from UTOPIA. They saw 3 mediums in the middle, and they went straight forward on towards the western cap.
Yeah, with the combo of Papapavi and the MX 3090 of McMoney, there's no way they could cap. No way Synergy could cap effectively, because they go forwards, they get hit by the STB, they go too far backwards all into the middle, they're going to get hit by the MX 3090. So Synergy had to take care of that. They tried to do that, and that was just not going to work out for them.
Yep.
The Batchat would scare it away, but the MX 3090, of course, would get out of that situation. But they sent 2 tanks. That gave UTOPIA the way in, pushing in across. They got a little bit careless towards the end because, of course, Mucker and that mouse was very slow. Took ages for him to get into the battle. And the rest of his teams kind of surged forwards. And you could see Synergy in the better positions, held their ground well, and started to fight their way back into the match. But they were still far behind in terms of hit points. Mursky as well, not being that great and not being that effective in such close proximity to the other team. And also the fact that the Mouse did eventually get in the game.
So, I mean, despite Synergy losing this one out, you can see that Crespix was, again, still able to be a big factor here. But more importantly, it shook you once he found Mouse 1. He used it fairly well.
Sometimes I struggle, Mitch.
Yeah.
Mouse 1's always hard.
Yeah, fair enough.
I find I can get Mouse 2 in the scroll wheel pretty easy. Do you have
one
a mouse?
with the
Like, I
index
have a
finger.
mouse at home, and it's got the 2 buttons on the side, and I always press them, and it's always back.
That's mouse 4 and 5, though, isn't
It's
it?
so annoying. I hate that back button on mouses.
Yeah, but mouse 1 is your index finger. It's the easiest one.
Mucker's good with the mouse, though.
Yeah, he's pretty good. Good clicker. Speaking of which, actually, now we go towards our second page in just a moment. And I want to ask you, Oliver, was it really wise for Synergy to have the 57 Heavy as such a pivotal tank here? He was the one capping. Yeah, decently well-armoured turret, not well-armoured hull. Got pushed onto and disintegrated in a few seconds. Thoughts?
Well, I think they should have definitely put more focus onto taking down that mouse. Of course, the problem is there is the hill, which the mouse and the T110E5 were behind, is pretty steep. So, like, you have to get pretty lucky to hit the artillery shell. Not lucky, but, you know, you have to... You don't
still
hit
thud short into the ground because of the gradient.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss, and if you have a 40 seconds reload, it takes you a long time to actually, you know, until you can actually get a hit sometimes. So I felt they should have maybe worn that down as well. And obviously that didn't work out for them. And Mursky should have just hit more shells. T57 obviously got countered by the MX-3019 STB. So yeah, it was an interesting round though. And it does put Utopia quite firmly on match point.
And now Utopia looking to, a fairly defensive lineup here. Double Waffentrager E100. This is Himmelsdorf, of course, as I said. Plus the T30, which, guys, if you're not really familiar with it, looks like a T32. Doesn't have the ears of the T29. Fairly slow. Has that 750 alpha damage gun, which is one of the most important parts about it. But its hull is weak. Very weak. Its turret, though, is great. So we'll see how that sort of is used here. It's triple tank destroyers. I love it. I love Papa on that one as well. The T30, we'll see. I mean, at tier 9 as well. Be interesting to see how that's used. It's going to be with an AMX 30 as well. So Utopia, not afraid to go for something different. I love a bit of Waffentrager action, though.
So do I. I think I'd marry one if I could. But the thing is, if I was Synergy, I would be like, okay, so Utopia going to full turtle. They're a match point on the defensive side on Himmelsdorf, but they haven't. They've actually gone for something unusual, and that could catch Synergy by surprise. Desher and John having a 113 battle, and yeah, 226 is what it will turn out to be. But yeah, the hill pushes also come from Synergy, and the AMX 3090 is actually pushing up the hill. AMX 30, sorry, is pushing up the hill for Utopia. So they have done something a little bit unusual, making sure they have control of that 2 cap, and also with the 50B and the T30, as you mentioned, you know, that tier 9 tank destroyer sitting in C3. I do miss the days though when it was tier 10, tier 10 heavy tank. That was obviously, you know, it started to get a bit deprecated towards the end of its life, but still pretty good.
And you can see now, it's got a big head on it. The thing about it is the cupola is more raised than a lot of higher-tier American tanks. So, well, I mean, to be fair, they all kind of are. More so than the Russian counterparts, I guess, at tier 9, 10. So that's a weak point, of course, on that particular tank. So Papa has to be a little bit careful, but it's still not easy to hit, especially if you have a large caliber gun or low accuracy. I like T30. I'm a fan. And he's in a good spot. Obviously, he's in that hold-down window. I remember back when I first started playing the game on the NA server, because we didn't have Aegis servers back then. I was in Australia, and this was my favourite actually tank line. Ground straight toward this one. I liked it a lot. So I wasn't an E100 guy like everyone else.
Yeah, it's a good position. I do love it myself. And for me, it looks like Synergy are just slowly making their way up towards that right side, and you know, straight into where Utopia are, to be honest. And as long as, for instance, they don't make the same mistake as Kazna, which is just aiming to where that 113 is, which, to be honest, Synergy haven't left there. Utopia should be able to thwart this attack. They got 2 Waffentragers there, which basically can kill the whole of Synergy. And they got a 113, and of course that AMX 30, which is just a better hold down Leopard. It's not as good as Leopard, but it's better in a hold down position than a Leopard. So I think they're pretty well set up for this push from Synergy.
Matt Money is actually not spotting these tanks. He's getting spotted himself, and then he's just pooping his pants when he sees a light bulb. So he actually doesn't know what Synergy are doing here, and he may fall pretty quickly. Even Bishu at least is in a good position to get the heck out if he needs to. Happy Bell, the only tank actually being spotted there. So that doesn't mean nothing. It means nothing. Matt Money gets a good shot in, though, at least. Happy Bubble might turn around and actually try and do some damage here. But still, Mac Money doesn't know about the whole of Synergy pushing down this hill. He hasn't spotted him yet. He still hasn't spotted him. Now he sees him. Now he needs to get out.
Run away, McMoney. Run as fast as your little legs can carry you in that AMX 3090.
He's screwed.
That AMX 30 is definitely the best tank for running away.
Oh, he's got to get away. Oh my God, no damage taken. Get wrecked, Synergy. And John
French tank
must be
best at running away,
fuming right now. Yeah, I mean, there you go. It's a military dogma that's been carried through the ages. But Mac Money manages to back away. More like cash money, my man. Nice work. Going to save on those repair costs as well as Bishu as well. Just going to backtrack a little bit there as well. How mad are you if you're Synergy right now? You literally
so
play your whole hand and don't even kill a tier 9.
Yeah, I know. I mean, they got to backtrack their way up the hill. I mean, this is like watching, you know, a random battle when you see like a T32 or I don't know, let's say a mouse with a VK or whatever with a stock engine just trying to push its way up the hill. It's just like,
and then literally just reversing up the hill as well.
And look at this, the immobilization from Utopia. Yeah, thanks for that, Alex. Just Cock and Steer for telling us.
There we go. What's that? Is that an F? I can't tell. I think it is.
Fanny?
Fail.
Fail. They
are fanning about a bit though. Mac Money actually goes for a peek there and it will take a bit of damage, but Bishu's there to do some work, and all the while Utopia just setting up now as well. Mac Money just grinning from ear to ear right now because he knows that not only has he been able to gain a lot of information for his team, but he's really been able to slow up Synergy, who only have 5.5 minutes to actually make a push here. So they've pretty much been denied from the north. They go 8 line, which they won't because there's a 113 there, or they go all the way out towards the west, which they won't because it's going to take too long. And if they do, it's going to be trouble there. Oh, Wicked does get spotted by Dreamlike there. That is why you put those tanks up in those positions. Dreamlight maybe not the best tank in terms of gun depression to do it, but that hill there that he's on allows him to get his gun down a bit further.
Yeah, I mean, this is not over Synergy. They still have 12,000 hit points. They haven't lost any tanks. They can still make this work. And the problem is, I mean, Utopia's obviously going to get pretty cocky at this point in time. They know they're ahead. And it looks like Synergy are starting to set up for a push along the 8 line. As you mentioned, the time is of the essence. They are starting to run out of it. I think around the 3-minute mark with the 11,000 hit points that Utopia has, it's obviously going to take quite a while for them to work their way, work the hit points down. And
there's Larry, Kelly and Mo right here, just trying to sort themselves out, if you get the reference. We need some Benny Hill music in the background as well now, as it's been a comedy of errors for Synergy thus far, and they look to make amends. Punch down this 8 line, maybe actually in towards the middle of the map. And Utopia have still a lot of presence here. Maybe Synergy are hoping that Utopia have gone towards the west side. Desha spotted from behind. Bishu taking some damage. He's got to get out there. High Life is going to be a while off reload. So Utopia don't actually have a lot of tanks in towards a 5-6 line. They're going to have to reposition somewhat.
Yeah, but I think they're doing it well right now. They're peaking, they're getting the damage. McMoney actually falling that MX-13. Definitely cocky work from him, but luck is there.
Oh my God, the double tap to reel the Waffentrager in the background as well. John going down to a 1-shot. Crespix isn't far away either. Bishu, they weren't able to even get that 50B, and Crespix knows if he peaks now, he's pretty much dead. He's hoping to use the hull for some protection, but the way
and affection
that tank was put around the corner, I think it was John, is not going to actually protect Crespix's turret, which is not that durable. So we'll see what happens there. Shulky's managed to catch on to Mihailov in the mid. He's going to let a whole clip go, and Papa Pavian as well fancies to get involved in this one. Mihailov being a 1-shot is not good news for Synergy, but the good news is, at least, Dreamlike now can come and try and finish off Bishu. It's going to be 2 shots. Can the Waffentrager fire? No, I don't think he will. He's reloading. There you go. Wicked actually takes down Mihailov at least. Papa wants Happy Bubble for dinner, and we'll probably have him in a sec.
Shuky's coming off reload there in the back.
He's just going to get, but it's going to be a while. Happy Bubbles managed to waste a lot of time. And Wicked now looking for Ludi Pavlo in the middle of the map. Desha is going to be there as well. Ludi Pavlo at least gets some damage done. Good little pick off here this one will be for Utopia, but they're going to pay for it. See, Wicked taking some shots in from behind, and that's Dreamlike actually. But unfortunately, he didn't have enough shots to finish off the Waffentrager. Dreamlike has to move away.
Mucka's actually going to come off reload, and it's 4 versus 3, so don't count Synergy off right now. I mean, the hit points is basically the same. I think Utopia have been pretty careless in some of these exchanges, and Synergy are really fighting for their life to try and stay in the game. Desha being cornered out in the middle of that C line.
That's beautiful work here. Synergy really getting their forces in the right places as time does tick down, and Desha just fluffs it completely. Papa is a slow tank, a very slow one. He's too far away, but Muka, he's got a full clip ready to go, and Mersky, he's got to crumble under the pressure. Perfect response, and that's why the Waffentrager is so important in these clutch moments. Dreamlike has a full clip. He at least picks up Desha now to 2v2. Dreamlike, there's going to have 2 tanks, one on either side. Will it be a shot coming in from Papa? Papa. It is a big 700 damage shot, but Dreamlike has a full clip. He's looking to pick up Papa. Papa needs Mooka now to push around the corner and get that last shot in towards Dreamlike here. Dreamlike knows better. He's not able to finish off Papa though. Here's Mooka. He gets the shot, but Dreamlike is still alive. He's a one-shot. Then Crespix from across the map takes down Papa Pavian. Beautiful work from Synergy, and now Mooka needs to reload. I don't think he'll have it quick enough. Crespix can get the finish, and Synergy hang on by the skin of their teeth.
Just unbelievable play from Synergy. I felt like Utopia just gave this round away. They started to get careless towards the end. They had such a big advantage, and Synergy just did the obvious thing. And now Crespix has the shot quite easily through the buildings, finds it, and Mooka goes down. Utopia somehow managed to lose.
So sick those last few moments there as well. Very strange round though, Oliver, I'll say that. It was match point, of course, if you remember, for Utopia. They spotted Synergy up on the hill, they baited around, they messed up a little bit. I think they lost the AMX-30 a little bit too cheaply in the end. But good little relocation there from Synergy. I love a team that can make those split-second decisions that can actually give them the round back in their favour, because they're a team that comes with very intricate approaches, but not always able to adapt on in short spaces of time.
Yeah, I mean, there was some misses there. For instance, if Dash had hit that FE215B, that would have kept Papa with 2 shells in the barrel, which he meant he could kill that Batchat, and that would have been the win there. So, I mean, you can see how close it comes down to in these high-level games where 1 or 2 shots can make a difference in the clutch situations. Other things to note, Utopia committed an AMX-50B and Papa Pavian and T30 to take care of Happy Bubble. Unnecessary. One of them would have done the job to at least keep him busy and stopping him from capping. That freed up the middle area for Synergy to get control of. Dreamlike had a bit of a blaster game. Crespix, I think this must have been from the previous round, because Crespix there's no way he did the most damage. I'm pretty sure it was Dreamlike having an absolute beast of a game in the Batchat.
No. Crespix did second highest. Mezki did 32.
Yeah, but this is not the right round.
Yeah, this is not the right one. That's all right. Either way, Mooka did 4.3k in a Waffentrager in this round as well. So, the mouse, of course, we didn't see a mouse. So that was last game.
Or
no
an
biggie.
M40.
No biggie. Either way, I mean, looking actually down the damage counters, it's quite surprising to see this game going in that direction, but pretty clutch stuff here as well. Dreamlike played that well. We've been pretty harsh on him in that bad chat, but he knew that he was in a position, a dangerous one, and as soon as he saw the T30, he saw the Waffentrager on the side, he backed up, and Crespix, just beautiful work, really. It's almost as if Utopia forgot about him. Yeah. And he was able to come back and do some work.
Yeah, and I felt like, Utopia got a little unlucky there with the rolls. Papa Pavian did 663 instead of 750. You had Mooka, I think, with the Waffentrager doing 550 instead of 590 average damage. If you both did average, the 90 HP which Dreamlike had at the end there in the Batchat would have easily been negated if even one of them had a high, if they both had a high normal roll. So they got lucky, to be fair, at the end, Synergy, but they make their own luck at the end. At the end of the day, they managed to stay in the battle. Utopia just getting cocky, getting confident there, and letting it slip through their fingers. And now it's there. It's on the onus is on them to make the attack on Himmelsdorf, and we could easily be seeing a 4th map.
This game has quickly become one of my favourites of the season. Actually, there have been so many highlight moments in this one. It's still match point for Utopia. However, it's also tie-break point for Synergy if they win this round. It's 4-3, ladies and gentlemen. Let's jump in, of course, in just a few moments to our next map, waiting for the teams to get themselves all sorted out here. Utopia coming in with a wrong setup, so we're going to have that checked against what they submitted here. Fairly standard stuff, but they can change it quickly and we'll be into it.
How much damage did that T30 do? I'm interested to see. I mean, the reload on it was ridiculously long. I completely forgot.
Yeah.
So he did 698 damage, that last shell. That's it.
He could get the Batchat. Remember the Batchat was running away from him.
Like, you should just, I mean, I can see what Utopia is doing there. I mean, having a hull down tank in that position to get control of that part. But maybe like a T54 would have been better, or a Conqueror. No? I mean, Conqueror can go hull down as well. No problem.
Yeah,
and it's fast.
The T30, I mean, it's changed a bit. It used to, it's just a walking gun, to be fair. I would almost rather see it like it's a T92? What's that big tank destroyer? The
T92 is an artillery.
No, what's the one that looks like a cockroach? Like it's got like the gun in the middle. Oh, I don't even know.
T124?
No, I'll figure it out.
Which nation?
It's American. It's American tank destroyer. I think it's
T123?
before. No, it's a T9. It's the other T9 TD.
All right, the T28. Oh, T95.
No. T95. Yeah, there you go. That's a sick tank. Yeah. Oh, no, really awkward looking thing.
It just goes 12 kilometers an hour. That's a problem.
it's literally like the Jabba the Hutt of all.
I remember when it first came out. It was probably the most hyped tank ever.
It looks, yeah. I mean,
if you could choose Himmelsdorf I think some accounts, like press accounts, you can choose the map you play. If you could just choose Himmelsdorf every time, you'd have insane stats, but you can't.
Yeah.
Prokhorovka, bro.
Yeah, T95 and Fox, not really that fun. Look it up, by the way, if you don't know what tank it is on Tankpedia. It's quite a strange-looking beast. But let's jump into this one here. Utopia poised to take things away if they don't mess things up. It's an FV215 B183 for Papa Pavi, and they're really trying to use that star power for good. And it's E100 here for Happy Bubble as well. It's also often Trago E100, so Synergy bringing the big guns as well. I want to see how an attacking team is going to use a 183, though. That's interesting.
It seems to me like Synergy's got the exact same idea as Utopia on the defensive side, and that's not unusual. I mean, defensive side on Himmelsdorf, teams generally do the same thing. You know, either defensive positions or just pushing down that 1-3 line to see if they can catch anything out, and then putting the 50B around the back at some point in time. Utopia very much on top of the hill, and this time Mucka's not playing the 183. It's Papa Pavian, as you said, so see if you can make better use of it. I believe Mucka did 2,091 HP damage last time he played this tank against Kazna, and some of that damage is of course useless considering he's the last man alive. So a pretty heavy lineup for Utopia, pretty hefty stuff from them.
A lot of blind shots coming out early on here as well, and it's a long reload for a 215 B183. So interesting there from Papa. Just wants to maybe hope to catch on to somebody. We've seen Mihailov here though as well. He knows Shukyu can see him. I don't know if he quite has the gun depression actually to fire on Mihailov. You see Shukyu just has to just jiggle around a little bit here and actually get an angle on that tank. Yeah, he knows his spot, so there's no point not firing, but Mihailov doesn't actually seem too bothered by him at the moment either. More concerned about that 8 line, which is obviously where the 113 does shine. So will we see any response to an information being gained? That's Ludi Pavlo firing across the map towards Shukyu. He has to be careful, as a Borsig can definitely leave a mark.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty impressed by Synergy's lineup though. I mean, I think one of the biggest problems Utopia had in the previous round was the fact that those Waffentragers, obviously you got the first clip out, Synergy survived it, and then you have that 1 minute reload, right? And that's where Synergy started to come back in it. So just with the one Waffentrager, I think that's fine. I honestly think the 1 or 2 Waffentrager is completely overkill and unnecessary, because if the team has one high HP tank, you won't necessarily be able to kill it. So Utopia heading down towards the southern side, yeah, it's a really good position. Interesting using the 15 centimeter, not the 12.8, and
That's
beautiful
why.
shell. That is a long shell travel time, so Shukyu got absolutely wrecked.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're Ludi Pavlo using the lower. It's got lower pen, I think, the 15.8 centimeter, but it packs a punch, and that's going to hurt. It's also has being a higher caliber weapon as well, a bit more dropped. Yeah, 750. So really, really nice on that one. You can see it's sort of a stubbier gun than what we normally see on Borsigs. The gun that actually makes it look like the tank should be overbalancing with how long it is. This one a bit shorter. I like to see teams maybe just mixing it up there a little bit, and Shukyu has to be careful. His turret's hard, but his side armor is not. His tracks will definitely eat shells, and not in a good way. So Ludi Pavlo now sees Matt Money down towards the bottom as well. This is great stuff from Synergy. I'm really enjoying this Himmelsdorf. Plate Wicked getting slapped up a little bit as he comes forward with Bishu. 6 minutes and 18 seconds left here, and Synergy have got a great little setup.
Got a great setup right now. Ludi Pavlo, of course, going to be really hard to spot. He's got amazing camera rating on that tank. Not sure exactly if he's using the old camo net. No, he's not. Nope. He's just using full DPS gear. Coated
optics, though.
Coated optics, yeah.
So it doesn't have vents.
But it's an open tank, so you don't have the opportunity to have ventilators because you're being ventilated by the
air.
The air of the earth, the virtual air. But T62 still on the hill, and I'm quite impressed by Utopia. They got themselves into the western side without having received too much damage. They obviously know Ludi Pavlo's there in the Waffentrager.
Binos for John.
So yeah, I mean binos for the old McMoney as well. So nothing spotted, and it's obviously going to be hard. I mean, McMoney he can get into the cap and behind that little building, but in 768 with the higher caliber guns, you can just get splashed out of it continuously, and you know, you won't be able to successfully get the cap. That's why these days we don't really see so many western side tactics really revolving around it.
Yeah, that house is no longer really viable. Some western side tactics, but yeah, well, man, I guess Wargaming would love to do that. I'm sure it's right at the top of their priority list. Mac Money now as well hasn't seen a lot. He's waiting for his binos to click in as well. You need to be stationary for a while for them to be active, and that's a blind shot from Ludi Pavlo there as Wicked does blink into vision. John as well, Corleone in the FV215B. I mentioned it before, he does have binocular telescope as well. So if he sits still for long enough, they'll activate and he'll be able to spot guys like Wicked down towards the bottom side of the map. And it is at Utopia. The onus is on them to make a move. And they've set up almost expecting Synergy to make some stupid error or push forward or something. And Synergy are just not going to, they're not going to oblige at all. They're going to sit back and wait.
Yeah, they have no reason to. And Utopia have flexed some of their tanks. They're actually heading through the middle. Desha's Shukyu's got great cover over the middle. So if Utopia have anything, it's the information and the control over that central courtyard. So with the IS-7 as well, they can side scrape in B6, B7. And the fact that Synergy have kind of thought Utopia's going for that western side, as they've only left the 113 there. 113 very long tank, so you can actually get shot from the front, and that will cause you to reverse. Shuku will be in behind to shoot you in the backside.
Oh,
so
Papa.
I actually like this from Utopia right now.
Well, I mean, it's pretty much stand and deliver right now. Papa's almost daring one of these tanks to actually poke him, and if they don't, then he can pretty much go where he pleases. So you can see he and Mooka are essentially unfettered as they make their way down towards this road. So they're going to try and go for that northern side cap. And like you said, 113, a little bit longer. We've seen a Conqueror used by Kusok in that same position, and also the back end pokes out a little bit. So not the ideal tank for that position in that regard, but from the front or pushing from south to north, it is very, very potent. And you can see Mooka there getting tracked up, but that's the only damage he's going to sustain. Papa just wants to find a good spot to come from. Now, the armor on the FV215B183, not really good.
The problem for Utopia right now is that they're a much better defensive team in general. So they're kind of struggling, I feel like, to find a good angle on the attack, even though they've definitely improved. And Mursky's actually being exchanged really nicely by some of their tanks, and Papa, he only needs to land this one shell to do his work.
And I think he might. He's got the element of surprise here. Let's see what the 183 can deliver. Boom goes Mursky up in a complete cloud of flames, I guess. And Papa, that's all he really had to do now. That's one tank off the map. Utopia's starting to flex their muscles a little bit. And now Papa with a great little side scope. Now, it's the same hull as the FV215B, right? It's just a big gun. So you can side scrape a little bit here with this FV215V183.
Yeah, I mean, the turret's slightly different, slightly more durable, I feel. Or just pretty similar in general. But yeah, that's all Papa really needs to do. And if he holds this angle, that Waffentrager can't peek. I mean, at this range, the FV215B, yeah, it's super slow aim down time, but good accuracy.
How can one person be so good at tanks? I don't know, man. He's such a beast. There's Happy Bubble coming around the corner. He makes Bishu pay.
Blood.
What's that?
Oil for blood.
Yeah, that's right. Doesn't have veins or anything like that. It's just cogs. Bishu just backtracking here. He knows that he's under a bit of pressure here by Happy Bubble. One shot will leave him absolutely crippled here, and Forbidden can't help out for much longer as Crespix is going to be taking his time and attention. Bishu gets one more shot towards Happy Bubble. He's probably happy to trade his life out for this one now. All Forbidden had to do was actually land that shot and get the finish, but Crespix wisely actually goes for the correct target. Now Papa coming around the corner as well. He needs to make this shot count. Mihailov going to be looking at him. Fire now. He does. He at least gets the pick off, but he's going to die for that one there. There's no way Papa really gets away with this one as Dreamlike looks straight at him. Utopia, I don't know, man. The trade maybe not the best, but the cap is still underway here. 19 seconds left. Dreamlike, Ludi Pavlo probably going to be the man to commit to this one, as Forbidden has to deal with Happy Bubble. And with him going down, I think there was a bit of a miscommunication with Utopia's two tanks in that position now. It's a simple push here. They look for Mooka. I think John in the FV215B gets the reset, and Utopia have mucked this one up big time, and we're going to a tiebreaker in a couple seconds.
Yeah, this is unbelievable how they've managed to screw this one up. 2 rounds in a row where they've managed to somehow lose the game, and it has to be said, I mean, that push around the corner with the FV215B, completely unnecessary just to kill the 113. And also the fact that Happy Bubble's still alive in this match on 141 HP. And so many misses from the IS-7 and Forbidden. Forbidden just didn't have a good game.
You know, as soon as I start talking up Papa, I look like a bloody idiot when he goes forward like that. What? I think the problem was the 113 was able to reset from that position. Fine. But you push it, like it was literally like you trade. You know, you have to know you're trading 1 for 1 there.
Yeah.
Now, there was an FV215B and an IS-7 for Utopia on that middle road. There was the E100 pushing in towards him. Of course, Crespix was up behind. Now, Utopia messed that 2v2 up pretty badly. I'm pretty sure that's where they lost things out. Because
yeah, they did.
The E100 was a one-shot, but like I don't know what happened. Forbidden started shooting at Crespix instead, and they just couldn't kill the E100.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that E100 bottom armor is very weak, but if it was not that weak. I mean, it's not that weak, but if you angle it correctly, it becomes very strong. So if you just get slightly unlucky with the IS-7's 303 penetration, 304 penetration, pretty low for APCR, you can bounce it. And yeah, Forbidden bounced it. That's, that gave the game away. Happy Bubble didn't die. Crespix in that 113 or whatever he was playing just managed to take down those 2 tanks. So there's 2 tier 10s in the middle of the map. gave away the game. They just failed parlously to destroy Happy Bubble and move on to the next tanks. He survived the whole game and managed to do a hell of a lot of damage. And yeah, I mean, the whole of Utopia pushing around the corner to take care of Milov, unnecessary. I don't know why they did that. They had McMoney alive in the AMX 1390, sit him behind that corner, and then set up so Synergy have to push around the corner. But you know, of course, there's going to be a problem at some point in time because of the positions with the 113 from behind in the courtyard. But you know that they kind of screwed that one up in the middle. So yeah.
Well, look at the damage here now as well. And just a word to you guys at home, it's going to be Mines for the tiebreaker. Utopia will be defending. So we'll discuss that in a second. But, I mean, here it's pretty clear where Synergy managed to win this one out. Papa, a respectable amount of damage. It's actually hard to see how much damage he does with each shot because they just kind of die straight away. So a little bit difficult. But got to say, you know, despite Lucy Pavlo not actually featuring at the top of the scoreboard, I think he did quite well with those first few shots. But Crespix was important. Crespix was a big part of that 2v2 being won there. Him and Happy Bubble managing to get a heck of a lot of damage across. And like we've been talking about, Crespix and Dreamlike, these two players here have been very, very important pickups for Synergy. And this match is sick, man. I mean, we're going to a tiebreaker. It's delivered. The last time we saw Mines was in this actually matchup. First map, it was 1 apiece.
And Utopia won on the defense. Really convincing. Probably the most convincing round. You know, you had that Desha position in the back. It feels like a million years ago, but Desha...
We got the flank around with him.
Yeah.
That was the first round.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, maybe Synergy's going to be able to strap something together here and, you know, have a counter to that tactic. But I don't think Utopia's going to do the same thing again. And judging by the fact they chose a defensive side, of course, Utopia had the fastest attacking round.
That's right. So that's definitely a bonus for Utopia now heading in towards this tiebreaker. Either way, each team gets at least 1 point out of 3 for this one. So it's not the end of the
If
world.
I was Utopia, I mean, 4-2 it was.
Yeah.
And now it's 4-4.
I
would be super annoyed.
Just crap Himmelsdorf. Sorry.
I know we said, like, okay, so Synergy has 50-50 win, I think, on this map.
Yep.
And 37.5% for Utopia. And you can see, again, they had a 75% win ratio on the attacking side. But they never the defensive side, but they never won an attack.
Yep.
So as soon as you saw them throw the defensive side, you know, you can see how they could easily throw the attack.
So Millie, we're not going to have a night of 5-2s here. It's going to be interesting. We have the old 5-0 and the old 5-4 here as well. So both opposite ends of the spectrum here. But I mean, a lot of talk going in Twitch chats. This has been a long game with some very, very big moments.
It's crazy, and people at home love it. I mean, you just can't see how baffled they are from the actions of the teams, actually. I mean, it's already a huge performance from the sides of Synergy to not let their morale being pulled down by that crazy shot from Pavian and the RT. And I mean, they're now back to 4-4, which is insane. And as already said before, this is definitely the match of the day, not even maybe the match of the week, excluding tomorrow's matches, because there is something great waiting for us, as I can imagine. And people at home voted 52% for Utopia, and it stuck with it. So they knew from the beginning that this is going to be a very, very close matchup, and it definitely goes that way.
No doubt about it. There is your vote up the top of the screen again, 52-48. And it all comes down to one round, guys. Predictions here. Ollie, what do you think?
I think Utopia's been playing better tanks. And I think they've been playing better on mines. So I think they're going to win it.
Melly, Synergy or Utopia?
It's just Synergy because Ollie said Utopia.
Oh, thanks.
But no, I think that Utopia has very, very good chances.
Yeah. Well, let's see. I'd say if I had to predict, I'd say Utopia as well after how strong they were on Mines defense. But perhaps there might be something similar. We've seen teams with very good attack sides on Mines here. We just have to see how geared up Utopia are going to be. Will Mersky be back on their artillery? Will he be able to make the difference here? Or will it be, you know, someone like Desha flanking around the side to mess things up for him? We're going to be jumping into this one in just a moment. And the tank picks will be following in just a second. No one getting too crazy about these tank picks by the looks of things. It does seem like teams are being fairly sensible about it. But the good news is there is going to be an artillery here coming into the mix. Mersky taking that one for Synergy here. And apart from that, though, Oliver, it looks like fairly standard tank lineups as we go in.
Yeah, the two FE215B is pretty heavy from Utopia. Decent hull down tanks, so let's see if they can make that one work. Of course, sometimes we see that on the attack just so they can get the peaks around the hills correctly. But it's going to be hard. I feel Utopia really have to bring their A game because Synergy's got really nothing to lose at this point. They're on the worst side on this map. And they are potentially the worst team in this matchup from what we've seen so far.
Double 113 here. We've been seeing a lot more of those since the last patch. Bit of a buff for those Chinese heavy tanks. Shuki, they're going to go towards a hill here. Will he make it or not? I don't know. There's a lot of TVP shooting at him. No, he's tracked up. Terrible news for Utopia, who lose a very key piece of their puzzle in the early stages. And now they'll be scratching their heads as Wicked is forced to commit to this rock. And he's kind of on his own here, with John wanting to come around. I mean, Synergy smelling blood in the water, Oliver, and they're coming forward to collect.
Yeah, Dash is actually coming from behind, but he's not going to be able to shoot anything. And Synergy have just correctly predicted that Utopia will be doing the exact same thing as they did last time. And obviously it's always a gamble, but they've gambled correctly.
No doubt about it here. You can see Murski getting some shots in. I think that was towards Dreamlike off screen here. No, that would be his own teammate. Why would he do that? Not sure. Deshino coming around from the back. He's seen Dreamlike there. Got 3 shots ready to go here. Crespix gets pushed onto Infinity, not taking any prisoners here. It's still fairly close, but Dreamlike now wants to burst forward. The thing is, those TVPs, they are loaded quicker than Bat Chats are, and they can fire. Now Bishu and Pap are going to be jumped on here as well. It doesn't matter what Desha does from behind, because Synergy, they're going in for the 1v1s or the overmatches in this case here. Mihailov and Dreamlike looking towards Papa. Dreamlike says, I've got the finish, let me take him out. And he does. He finishes him off. Bishu just there. Desha is getting some flanking shots on, but it's too late. Utopia down by at least 2.5k. Murski gets some shots across the board. He does finally go down, but Desha now has to turn tail and run.
Unbelievable. I mean, 3 rounds in a row now, Utopia have managed to lose to throws. And yeah, very careless play to actually go for the same tactic twice in a row. I mean, let's be honest here. Synergy didn't have anything to lose, and the most logical thing for them to do would have just been to push the hill with all their tanks, and with a double 113, that was very, very obvious indeed. So, yeah, throw Utopia right now.
I was going to say that. You stole it, but there you go. It's too good. Synergy are right now. They've turned things around. Matt Money just has nothing he can do. Mihailov just swings around behind him. Matt Money can at least pick him up. Goes to a 2v2 in the end here. Desha is on reload, though, and Matt Money actually holding for now. If he can just keep John busy for a moment, he might be able to do a little bit more here, but that's a big roll. 566. That's got to hurt. John is going to be too healthy for Crespix to deal with here. So Matt Money, all he would like to do is actually just hurt John enough so that maybe the TVP could deal with him. To his credit, he's staying alive for a fair while. Deshino has to get that first shot. He does! It's going to be a 2v1 here. The problem is that John might mess things up. He was looking for Mac Money. He's got to get this next shot. He does have it. 2v2.
So close.
Now, Desha needs some free damage here, and then he needs to be able to back away and reload. Can he kill John with a full clip?
No. 3,360 damage. 320 times 4.
3,360 damage?
Yeah. 3,380.
2,380?
Yeah.
Do you want to try again?
1,380.
All right, that's better.
Sorry, yeah.
So, John, even at best,
I mean, if he got high rolls like 400, sure, I mean, he could kill him.
Desha needs, he needs free damage. John pushes onto him.
His gun is down, though. I mean, Desha, if he goes for range.
It's true. Desha needs a full clip plus a reload cycle, though. That's a problem. John, well, as far as we can see, he has a damaged fuel tank and a damaged gun, which is not great for the 113. Does definitely mess your accuracy a little bit here.
Could get set on fire as well very easily.
Desha's not really in a position to spot out John here. Bear in mind, Desha just needs to run in higher for the next 6.5 minutes. That's, well, it could be easier. Really, the 113 is fairly sprightly tank. Desha's somehow not lit as he's crossed there. John doesn't have great view range, but this is perfect from John. Desha needs now to head towards the western side of the map and run away. John is trying to corner him up in towards the top part of the map here. He starts off the cap. So this isn't terrible for Desha, really. If he can just peek out, but he needs to peek from range. There's a spot. The shot, Desha. Oh, God, he's missed that. John also, though, has missed, and he now has a bit of a reload.
Why has he gone forward?
Desha should be running away.
Yeah.
A little bit slow on the uptake, old mate Desha is. Oh, God, no! Ooh, all right, he was unspotted there for a moment. Very, very lucky, but John's just going to get close to him here. Desha should be getting away, putting distance between him and John. Oh, he gets one shot. Cheeky one here, but John is always going to be able to circle around. Desha knows he's done.
His drive is done now.
Dinner is cooked.
His drive is down. John can't keep up with Desha.
Oh, brilliant stuff here. John doesn't actually have a first aid kit to deal with this here. He misses that shot. Desha now has a window of opening. He's going to go in for 2. 1, go for the second here. John's going to be off reload really quickly, though. Desha needs to get back around the corner, and he does. This is perfect. This could be huge here. 5 minutes and 15 seconds left. Desha will have his reload up. 2 shots, and John will be dead. John needs to land 1 shot. Yeah, 1 shot. He'll have a decent roll.
Look how much faster Desha is.
John can't get around here. He actually can't handle Desha, so Desha needs to bait this next shot or survive it.
I mean, technically, this could just be a ring of roses, full stop, and this could be 4 minutes of this.
I can't believe it. I can't
Desha
believe
just
what we're
doesn't have
seeing.
to peak. There's no reason why Desha should peak this situation.
John is hoping to put some distance between him and Desha for
His
whatever
gun is
reason.
down, though. I mean,
Yeah, his gun is damaged. His drive is dead, so he's slow. He can't maneuver quickly, and the reason why that's so important is that he can't chase Desha around houses anymore. Desha's too fast. Also, Desha... Oh, no! What was that, HG?
boys.
It was HG. He's tracked John up, though. One more shot will do it. Desha comes forward. One shot into the house. One more to finish it up. There it is. Utopia have done it. It wasn't synergy. Utopia turned around the last few seconds somehow against the odds. So hype, bro. Whoa, what the hell was that? That was insane stuff there. Beautiful from Desha. The autoloader work comes in. This is why we do what we do.
a beast.
Utopia get it done in the tiebreaker. Oh, God. I wish I had replay working at the moment because that would be insane. But 5-4 the scoreline is, and it just doesn't get any closer than that.
I can't believe he actually managed to clutch that situation. I mean, to be fair, the events conspired against John, the actual team captain for Synergy. His gun was down, so he couldn't go for the range shot. His fuel tank was down, and I thought he was actually getting out set on fire there. I mean, the Chinese tanks are pretty burnable. And then his driver got taken down, so he couldn't get the maneuvers around the houses. And that's the thing. I mean, we're talking about high penetration shells against these Chinese tier 10s. And when this 113 got buffed, they also nerfed the driver slightly. But I can't believe Utopia managed to throw 3 rounds and then actually step up to the plate and win that round. Unbelievable.
And the thing is, right, John loaded HE because he was going to try and splash Desha around the corner of the house.
You reckon?
He knew, he did he hit him for 183.
Yeah, I think the 113's got good HE penetration. Maybe the normal 50.
Well, no, so we saw it. He did damage to Desha.
Yeah, he did
like 180 odds.
Yeah.
So he's loaded up HE, hoping to get a decent splash radius because he knew that he wouldn't be able to get around
68
behind it.
penetration though with HE. That's,
How much?
That's sick. 68.
All right, so I mean there it is. I mean
Beast.
Desha. 36-55. Him and John, of course, up the top of the scoreboard. The ultimate Mexican showdown there. Really.
I feel so sorry for John because he did so much damage and like everything conspired against him. And Synergy predicted correctly. I mean, they just went for the hill. They are on the attacking side. They could get the hill first. They killed a Batchat. And the most horrible part of this is that on Mines, on the attack, they lost a Batchat Dreamlike to a disconnect to Kazna Crew for free. And they managed to win the round. Now they lost. They took down a Batchat for free, and they managed to lose the round. I mean, this is just unbelievable stuff.
Insane stuff. And Utopia finally.
That's just a new player as well for Utopia.
I know. He takes it away somehow.
Sick.
Papa Pavian was first. Desha was second. It's clutch plays all around. And it was Desha to get the finish with the final shot. The first shot went into the building, for God's sake.
Yeah.
So
but he took the building out. That's perfect.
Well, assuming it was intentional, right, that he went for the building. But he knew he only needed one more shot. Oh, God, intense stuff. Crazy, but there you have it. John, unfortunately, that's Chinese tanks for you, dude. Your modders and crew members are vulnerable. They always are. Like,
it's a small tank.
Whenever I drive like a Type 62 or something, it's always my driver that gets taken out first. But let's have a look at the post-match stats now as well to tie it all together. Crespic's got to say, like, he's really been good. Desha up the top there as well in terms of his scores. Bishu and Muka right behind him. So see those big three? That's a big three for me when it comes to Utopia there. I mean, Papa Pavian, yes, but it's not pure damage he's doing. It's making plays is where he's been really important. So
yeah, but I mean, second in the damage ball, full stop as a newer player. Fantastic stuff. Bishu always consistently good. Muka as a team captain up there. And to be fair, I mean, Synergy... I mean, they did such an amazing job to come back on Himmelsdorf and then Mines on Himmelsdorf, full stop. And then I felt like, okay, Utopia were the better team overall in this matchup, and they definitely deserved the 2 points. But Synergy walking away with 1 point, I think they can be pretty happy with that. And for me, this solidifies Utopia as one of the top teams, right? I mean, they really are. I mean, Shuku down the bottom there was playing tier 9s mostly, so perhaps not surprising. He was only there with 8.8k damage.
Let's all take a break, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get a drink of water and just settle ourselves here. I just dropped into the lobby of our next game, Oops versus Rusty Ross. They've all locked in T95s for us as well. So
really?
it's kind of funny.
Trolls.
Oh, dear. I mean, Melly, words not really coming right now very easily. I mean, I think she's trying to get a picture of Twitch chat when it explodes.
Not a picture. I'm going to film that reaction because I already saw it exploding.
I don't want to. I just want
action.
I just want to watch the Twitch chat, to be honest.
Yeah. So we will be heading into a break and still sitting in front of our computers to just see what's going to happen. I think it will kind of break the Twitch chat because we already saw some sick moves, but
Desha, beast.
Damn.
All right.
Damn. The VODs, youtube.com/WGLEU. When you're up, subscribe to the channel to get a notification as soon as we upload new content, which pretty much the VODs will be. The first day will take a little longer since Twitch split us in half, but I think today's match.
Yeah, I mean all the matches are which we've played so far, I believe, are on YouTube now.
Yes. Look at this, how fast we are. youtube.com/WGLEU. Check it out tomorrow or the day after. Least Monday. Promise.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is
and
it.
the vote is up.
For the next game?
I have to, yes, of course.
Is the vote up?
Yes.
All right, so get your votes in for Oops and Rusty roster as well from the Facebook, as per usual. We'd like to hear what your thoughts are on that one. We will be checking back in with Melly before the game starts to see where that's at. Guys, we'll be back after the break. Probably the best game of the season so far. This Super Week is delivering like crazy. When we return, though, it's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be Rusty roster going up against Oops, who are pretty much considered a top team now. Oops have really made their way up there. So let's see how these two rookie teams go at it head-to-head after the break.